What happens when a 20-year-old from China, underrated by many scouts and draft boards, suddenly changes the calculus of an entire league? Yang Hansen isn't just a rookie, he's a puzzle the NBA isn't ready to solve yet. His style of play is already forcing coaches and analysts to rethink everything they thought they knew about big men. Even before he stepped on a court in Portland, Yang Hansen was already rewriting the rules. At 7 feet 1 inch, with a point guard's brain and a big man's instincts, he challenged expectations at every turn. In a league where centers are often defined by brute strength or towering presence, Yang arrived with a different blueprint, one built on timing, anticipation, and intelligence. He could read defenses like an open book, spot mismatches before they appeared, and orchestrate plays with a level of subtlety that left coaches muttering in awe. For most players, making it to the NBA is the ultimate dream, a culmination of years of hard work, exposure, and a bit of luck. For Yang, it was never about the spotlight. His journey began on the modest courts of Zibo, Shandong province, where the echoes of bouncing basketballs and squeaking sneakers were his constant companions. Here, away from international scouts or viral highlight reels, he learned to outthink opponents, to see angles others ignored, and to anticipate movement in a way that made his youth coaches shake their heads in disbelief. Drafted 16th overall by Portland, expectations were modest. Many assumed he would be a late bloomer, a developmental project who would take years to find his footing. But that narrative ignored the subtle weapons Yang had been honing for years. Court vision beyond his age, a defensive IQ that allowed him to manipulate opposing offenses, and a willingness to stretch the floor with accurate perimeter shooting. He didn't just arrive ready to play, he arrived ready to challenge assumptions about what a modern center could do. Even in training sessions, veteran players noticed it. Yang would block a shot and immediately push the ball up the court, threading passes that seemed almost extraordinary for a 20-year-old. Coaches who had worked with all-stars and seasoned pros were left marveling at his composure, his anticipation, and the way he could dictate pace without uttering a single word. Every drill, every scrimmage became a masterclass in intelligence disguised as raw talent. So how does a teenager force every team in the league to suddenly reconsider what a center can be? When a player this young challenges decades of conventional wisdom, the NBA is forced into a moment of reflection. Can the league adapt fast enough, or will it be left scrambling to catch up to a new prototype of basketball intellect and versatility? The NBA is built around patterns. Coaches prepare, defenses anticipate, and rival GMs calculate based on conventional player archetypes. Systems are meticulously crafted, rotations drilled to the second, and scouting reports dictate nearly every adjustment. And then comes Yang Hansen. He doesn't fit the mold. He blocks a shot and instantly pushes the pace, threading passes that slice through crowded defenses. He can step out beyond the three-point line to stretch a defense, yet still dominate the paint with his presence. He isn't just a hybrid player. He's totally a new template, a prototype that forces teams to rethink the very way they define a center. Where the NBA expects predictability, Yang delivers chaos. Organized, intelligent chaos. Statistically, the numbers may appear modest to casual observers. In Summer League, he didn't drop 30-point games or fill highlight reels with thunderous dunks. But the impact is in the subtle details. The hockey assists that don't show up on the stat sheet, the way he drifts to create passing lanes, the calculated decoy movements that lure defenders out of position. Every time a team tried to plan for him, they found themselves reacting instead of dictating. He forces adjustments that other players take years to understand. And at just 20, he's already rewriting defensive game plans. In scrimmages, they find themselves out of position, miscommunicating rotations and second-guessing reads, because Yang sees the play before it unfolds. Coaches watch film, expecting routine patterns, and instead see a rookie manipulating the flow like a seasoned general on the court. The NBA thrives on predictability, but Yang thrives on anticipation, timing, and intelligence, the kind that can quietly upend the rhythm of an entire team. When a rookie doesn't just play, but changes the way teams prepare, is it raw talent or a problem for the league? The implications go beyond statistics. It's about the subtle ways a single player can challenge the strategies, assumptions, and comfort zones of every team he faces. Yang Hansen isn't just a player. He's a tactical disruptor, and the league is just beginning to realize the ripple effects of his arrival. Opponents aren't used to big men who see 3 steps ahead. Yang Hansen's defensive IQ allows him to anticipate plays before they even begin, moving with a precision that feels almost preordained. He's part sentinel, part strategist, whose presence alone forces opposing offenses to rethink their approach. Double teams arrive too late. Passing lanes are clogged before the ball arrives, and off-ball movement is constantly disrupted. Every shift of his body, every subtle pivot, influences the rhythm of the game in ways traditional stats can't capture. The effect is subtle on the stat sheet, but massive in real-time play. Coaches notice rotations breaking down. Rookie guards find themselves lost in traffic, unsure where to position their feet. Defensive schemes that have been drilled for weeks suddenly feel obsolete, as if the entire system is being challenged by a single cerebral force. What makes Yang's defensive approach even more disorienting is its duality. He can dominate the paint like a traditional center, swatting away shots and controlling rebounds. But he can also drift to the perimeter to influence spacing, redirecting the offense without even touching the ball. It's this yin-yang balance, presence and mobility, anticipation and reaction, that gives him an edge few players, let alone rookies, can match. In many ways, his defensive intelligence acts as a force multiplier, enhancing the performance of teammates while simultaneously destabilizing opponents. Veterans who have faced him in scrimmages admit they've never encountered anything like it. Even when they think they found a rhythm, Yang has already moved 2 steps ahead, anticipating the counterplay. Coach Chauncey Billups said Yang is right where a rookie should be at, and praised his rare feel for the game, an endorsement that carries weight coming from a former Finals MVP who values basketball IQ as much as athleticism. Teammate Denny Avdija also highlighted Yang's vision, calling him a very good passer, noting how effortlessly he finds open teammates even under pressure. Are opposing teams underestimating him? Or is Yang Hansen quietly exposing systemic flaws in NBA preparation? Could it be that the league's defensive structures, built around conventional archetypes, are suddenly vulnerable to a new type of player, one whose intelligence and anticipation redefine what it means to control the court? For the NBA, Yang isn't just a rookie. He's a puzzle that challenges the very foundations of defensive strategy, and the full implications are only beginning to unfold. Yang Hansen isn't just a tactical problem, he's a market problem too. His presence already drives massive audiences in China, boosting viewership and social media chatter for every Blazers game he touches. Tencent's broadcasts of Summer League and preseason games drew millions of viewers, many tuning in specifically to watch Yang, the teenage center from Zibo who had captured the imagination of a nation. For the NBA, this isn't just fan interest. It's an entirely new layer of influence, a bridge between sport and global culture, and a reminder of the league's increasingly international footprint. Other teams have to consider this. The NBA isn't just a collection of 30 franchises. It's a global marketplace where a single player can alter sponsorship deals, broadcast rights, and merchandising opportunities. Yang's arrival forces a rethink of how talent impacts both the game and the business. Suddenly, every rookie with international potential is no longer just a point on the stat sheet. They're a strategic asset, a potential cultural ambassador, and a driver of revenue streams that extend far beyond the hardwood. Teams now face a dual challenge, evaluating a player's on-court impact while factoring in their off-court influence, a balancing act few organizations have had to master before. The attention isn't just financial. Media coverage, social media commentary, and fan engagement are all amplified exponentially when a player like Yang steps onto the court. Every highlight, every assist, every defensive rotation is dissected not only by NBA analysts, but also by millions of fans halfway across the world. In a league obsessed with global relevance, Yang represents more than a rookie. He embodies the convergence of skill, charisma, and international appeal. His presence is a reminder that basketball is now as much about cultural resonance as it is about points and rebounds. Yang Hansen isn't just challenging opposing teams on the court, he's challenging the NBA's entire approach to scouting, marketing, and fan engagement. Every franchise now has to ask, How do you measure a player whose impact stretches across continents before he even plays a full season? In Yang's case, the answer may define how the NBA operates in the next era of globalization. Even prodigies face challenges, and for Yang Hansen, the NBA is a crucible that tests every aspect of his game. He has the height and skill to dominate, but the league's veterans are faster, stronger, and far more physically imposing than anyone he faced in the CBA. Summer League offered a glimpse of the hurdles ahead: contested post possessions, aggressive perimeter defenders, and the relentless pace of transition play. Moments of hesitation, minor turnovers, and scrambles for position revealed that even brilliance must be tempered by adaptation. Yet the bigger story isn't just about Yang adjusting, it's about the league adjusting to him. His arrival challenges decades of conventional thinking about rookie development. Coaches, GMs, and scouts have long relied on archetypes, athleticism metrics, and conventional projections to evaluate talent. Yang defies all of them. His cerebral approach, court vision, and ability to manipulate defenses create ripple effects that force teams to rethink rotations, defensive schemes, and even how they train players. The pressure is immense. Overnight, Yang transformed from relative obscurity into the face of a global narrative. Every possession will be analyzed from Portland to Beijing, every mistake magnified, every highlight dissected. Young players often struggle with expectation, but Yang must navigate the dual weight of rookie growing pains and the scrutiny of millions who see him as China's next great basketball hope. Scouts and analysts note rough edges, but they also see potential. With time, strength training, and experience, Yang could refine his physicality to match his mental acuity. International play adds another layer, representing China on the global stage tests poise, adaptability, and leadership under immense pressure. Every high-pressure scenario becomes a microcosm of the NBA itself, and how Yang handles it will signal whether his cerebral style can withstand the league's unforgiving grind. Every adjustment he makes, or forces others to make, could rewrite what it means to succeed in the modern NBA. The next months will be a proving ground, not just for Yang, but for the league itself. As he steps onto every court, the NBA isn't just observing a rookie, it's witnessing the evolution of a new kind of player, one whose intelligence, versatility, and global impact demand a response, whether the league is ready or not. Yang Hansen isn't a problem because he's unpredictable or unskilled. He's a problem because he's too smart, too versatile, and too far ahead of conventional thinking. Every possession he touches ripples across the court, altering decisions, rotations, and strategies. Opposing coaches are forced to adjust in real time, often improvising against a player whose mind operates several moves ahead. Analysts scramble to redefine what makes a center valuable, while teammates marvel at his ability to blend vision, passing, and defensive presence into a seamless whole. Where others rely on athleticism alone, he uses timing and anticipation to dictate the flow. Where others dominate through size, he dominates through intelligence. And where others are limited by traditional roles, Yang blends every skill into a hybrid package that doesn't fit neatly into a scouting report. He is, in every sense, a disruptor, forcing the league to confront the fact that the old rules may no longer apply. The effect extends beyond the hardwood. In China, he has become a symbol, drawing millions of fans to broadcasts and social media discussions. In Portland, franchises are evaluating not just how to counter him, but how to compete with the cultural and financial influence he brings. Every step he takes is scrutinized, every play analyzed, and every game becomes a template for how the NBA might evolve to accommodate the next generation of global, high IQ talent. Even as he continues to grow, the questions surrounding him remain. Can the league adapt quickly enough to this new archetype? Can coaches and players adjust without being left behind? Is Yang Hansen the blueprint for the next era of basketball, or is he a rare anomaly whose impact will fade as defenders learn to anticipate him? The ripple effects of his intelligence, skill, and presence will be felt long before he reaches his prime. In a league obsessed with vertical leap, speed, and raw power, Yang serves as a reminder that sometimes the sharpest weapon isn't the fastest, the strongest, or the most athletic. It's the player who sees the game in ways no one else does. And as the season unfolds, the NBA faces a simple truth. Whether they're ready or not, the Yang Hansen effect has arrived, and the game will never look quite the same again.